Hey, this is Rick Kaselj from exercisesforinjuries.com. I wanted to go through a concept of self-traction when it relates to your back. And what traction is to put a light stretch on the low back in order to decrease the pressure that's built up in your discs in your lower back. So what happens is when you go to bed and you lie on your back, what that does is sleep gives your body a chance to kind of recover. And what happens with your back, it ends up expanding, and the discs end up expanding and it being larger in height compared to the end of the day. Now when you get up and you start doing things and moving around, the discs end up compressing and getting smaller. And then especially if you end up doing activities that end up involving that are higher stress on the back. For example, if you end up doing a lot of sitting or a lot of driving, that sitting and driving puts about 40% more pressure on the back and more pressure on the discs. So as these discs get smaller and smaller throughout the day, what we can end up doing is decreasing that pressure in the back or elongating those discs. And you can do that by something that I end up calling self-traction. So if I'm in a gym setting, I can end up using a chin-up bar or a squat rack. And what I want to do is I want to end up grabbing, the bar above me. My hands are underneath my shoulders. I'm letting myself hang, and the big thing I'm focusing on is letting my hips drop. Dropping the hips and looking at getting traction through my back. Okay, I'm going to do that for about 15 seconds. And if this is your first time doing it, you end up going light because it ends up benefiting about 95% of people. About 5% of people it doesn't work for. And we want to start off gentle, as opposed to going in aggressively and irritating things. If you end up being really tight in the shoulders or have mid-back tightness, it might take a bit of tweaking when it comes to the technique in order to hit that low back area. So I'll end up doing another repetition, hands directly underneath the shoulders. I'm really focusing on dropping those hips and letting those hips drop. Okay, good. And then I want to kind of do a self-test and see how my back feels. Does that make my back feel better? Is there no change, or it ends up making it worse? And if it makes it worse, go back and make sure you're doing the technique right. So, see if you've gone too aggressively. Make sure you're doing the technique right. If there is no difference, it's not better or worse, you can go back and check and see if you've done the technique correctly. If you end up feeling better, and it ends up making my back feel better, I want to build on good. I want to build on my back feeling better. So I would end up doing another repetition. And then as I end up doing more repetitions and get more comfortable, I can isolate more in that back area. Because a lot of times the first rep might kind of focus more on the shoulder, a second rep might be a little bit more mid-back, and then finally in that third repetition, I can target and hit the low back a lot better. And for me, that ends up feeling better. My back feels looser, back feels happier. So give that a go if you end up having kind of a stiff and achy back. If you end up doing a lot of driving, or if you end up doing a lot of sitting, try the self-traction, especially if you work in a gym setting. You can use the squat rack or pull-up bar and just kind of hang from the pull-up bar, squat rack, and stretch out your lower back. So this is Rick Kaselj from exercisesforinjuries.com. Make sure to swing by exercisesforinjuries.com. Enter in your injury or pain. There's a good chance that I have a video, interview, or blog post that'll end up helping you out. Secondly, if you're watching this on YouTube, head up above, hit subscribe, and what that'll do is every couple days you'll end up getting a video like this from myself where I talk about injury and pain or you'll end up getting a guest video from one of my friends in the fitness world, or lastly, you might end up getting an interview with, that I've done with one of my friends. Lastly, head down below, hit like, and leave me a question or comment. So that's it. This is Rick Kaselj from exercisesforinjuries.com saying take care and bye-bye.